We talked about a rivalry here between two players who possibly could have sneaked in at one point in time into the Indian World Cup 15. Maybe they would have made the 20, both not playing, both captaining. At the moment, it's going to be a different kind of rivalry. It's Hyderabad against Chennai. Now, we know Chennai are top of the tree. Hyderabad suddenly starting to fall off the rails. But a very interesting rivalry we'll talk about in a moment. First, let's have a look at the points table and where it stands and why it's so significant, particularly for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Because the start of the season, first 3 or 4 games, you said, okay, they're one of the 4 to go through to the playoffs. Suddenly you're saying you're not so sure at all because they're playing the top team. If Chennai keep winning, then Hyderabad look like they're in a bit of trouble.
They need to win that. They win that, they go to 8. Their net run rate will be better. Kolkata will drop down even more, which will lead to a lot of anguish in this in Cricbuzz. But yeah, they need to win that. I mean, you looked at, just as we looked at the Rajasthan Royals balance, you looked at Sunrisers and you said they've got everything. They've got replacements, they've got all the big hitting players. Warner and Bairstow, 3-century opening partnerships to start off the IPL. They had everything. They had enough fast bowlers to feed all the other teams. And suddenly they're 3-4. They lose tomorrow, they're 3-5. And they're saying, wow, where are we going to get the next 5 wins from?
Now, Michael, the strange thing about having everything, as Harsha said, is sometimes maybe you have too much to choose from. And now they're in a position where obviously you're wanting to play the top 2, which is Warner and Bairstow who have been so successful. If then Williamson comes into the mix as captain, that means the 3 players you possibly want on a slower pitch, Shakib Al Hasan, Rashid Khan, Mohammad Nabi, only one of those 3 makes the squad.
Yeah, that's the difficulty. I mean, Kane Williamson's the skipper. He has to play. The opening combination has been, I guess the real big positive for the Sunrisers this year. So the opening pair will have to play, and you've got to say Rashid Khan has to play. You're looking at Mohammad Nabi, who is so unfortunate. Shakib Al Hasan can't even get a look in. But it's Mohammad Nabi that is the unfortunate one because he's been outstanding. He's a real clever bowler, a real clever cricketer on slow wickets, which it is there. His style of cricketer is so important. I just wonder whether, because it's such a desperation game and they have to win, I just wonder if Kane Williamson will just drop out. I just wonder if he'll go, wait a minute, Nabi has to play, Rashid Khan has to play, the 2 openers have to play, I may have to step out.
Yeah.
He didn't get any runs in the last game, he is an outstanding player, an outstanding leader, but I just wonder on this occasion with the team so desperate to win the game, he may just have to step back and go, what is the best 11 for my team today? And it may be that Nabi has to play, Rashid Khan has to play, and the 2 openers play, and he may miss out.
Yeah, but the strange surface the other day, the team batting second, the surface just died. It just died completely now. Can surfaces change too much across a square? I mean, if you take one track, one wicket versus another, but it's on the same square, so they largely behave the same.
Yeah, I mean, the Indian squares aren't like English squares where we have lots of pitches. So you've only got a few to play with.
5 or 6.
And generally in tournaments, the longer the tournament goes on, the pitches start to wear and tear a little bit because you're going back to a used pitch that was probably used 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I can't see it's going to be any quicker. I think it'll be similar in terms of bit of spin, slow balls, hit the pitch hard as a bowling unit, saw a bit of bounce, wasn't quick bounce, but it was tennis ball bounce. So it wouldn't surprise me tomorrow if Kane Williamson brought back Nabi.
Would it be something that he would sit himself, look in the mirror and say, I need to do it? Tom Moody?
No, he's a good man. I have a lot of time for Kane Williamson. I can't say I know him very well, but in my interaction with him, he comes across as a good man. If my view of Kane Williamson, from what I know of him, is if he thinks the team is better served with Nabi playing ahead of him, he'll do that.
You had a chat with him for Cricbuzz Unplugged, which we'll hear from soon.
And last year as well, he just comes across as a very decent, very thoughtful captain. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if, as Michael is saying, if he thinks that Nabi is the better player on that surface than him, a better combination, a better set of things he's offering to the side, he won't think twice.
I can tell you my first interaction with him was going to watch a baseball game in Florida. And he was like a little child wanting to grasp every little bit because he was asked to throw the first pitch. Those guys had no idea who he was. They were just told, this guy, the 4th best cricketer on earth, he's coming, he's going to throw the first pitch for the Marlins. And these guys they had no idea who he was, and he walked in there, he was super excited, said, give me the ball, what do I got to do? He practiced pitching for a good hour so he didn't get it wrong.
Did he bowl a gentle off break, the offie like that?
Yeah.
Oh, he did okay. He did okay.
It's a tricky one. I mean, David Warner in the last 2 or 3 games is playing very different as well. He's scoring at 105, 110. I mean, that's not Warner, right? Warner will get those batting right-handed.
Yeah, I think, Johnny Bairstow will just play. He doesn't worry about the kind of batting to come. He just plays his natural game and tries to whack it. I just wonder in the back of David Warner's mind has been the fact that he's not trusting the middle order. You know, he's known that they've looked so vulnerable. It's been on 2 occasions now they've just collapsed.
Bit like Virat Kohli?
Maybe. Only they can answer that question. But it looks to me like for Sunrisers to win games, they can't just expect the openers to get them pretty much 90% of the way there. The middle order has got to step up and start striking some.
It makes a very valid. I think there's more than one team that's where the openers are starting to think, if we don't get them off to a good start, then what happens thereafter? The slower the surface, the more you're playing into CSK hands. I mean, Dhoni is the master of the slow surface with spinners, right? They're like marionettes. He's just folding them. he plays around with his spinners. So the slower it gets, the better it is for CSK.
Yeah, let's have a look at what Dhoni has at his disposal, what the master has at his disposal, and have a look at the spinners that he has. The champion in Imran Tahir, Mitchell Santon has been almost getting better with every single game. Jadeja is his trusted lieutenant, so he's already got 3 right there.
And Harbhajan's got 2 Man of the Match awards already in
and we haven't even counted him in that.
Yeah, I think the big one for me is Shane Watson. Will he play? Will Shane Watson get another outing, or will they throw in someone like Sam Billings at the top of the order? You know, you have to say that Shane Watson, if he gets one more go, he'll be very lucky because of his numbers in this year's IPL. But, you know, knowing MS Dhoni, knowing the way that the Chennai Super Kings operate, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this weren't same 11. Get out there,
and
play some
Shane
cricket.
Watson, unlike before, is not bowling anymore. When he was bowling, you knew you had that dimension, those few key overs he'd get in there. Without that, Billings and Faf at the top would look pretty lethal.
Yeah, and what Sam Billings, I mean, he's done a lot of fielding this year anyway, because he somehow manages to get on. He's an outstanding fielder. He'll be full of energy, full of life. So it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they did. It's Chennai. Anything could happen.
One more factor we'll talk about is this interesting rivalry. We'll talk more about it on MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live tomorrow when we do come for the show. But it's going to be a little spicy. I'm just going to get one word out of both of you on that. It's going to be Vijay Shankar against Ambati Rayudu.
I have a soft corner for Ambati Rayudu, as you know. But tomorrow, if he's going to get 3D glasses to watch a game, he's not going to be able to play 3D cricket because he bowled in one of the games in playing for India. His action was questioned and India did not even appeal that, which means they said, yeah, we know he does, we know he chucks the ball, let it be. So he can't bowl. So he's only going to be playing 2 dimensions tomorrow.
What's his personality going to be out there? We talked about Ashwin, Rahane, ifs and buts about getting into the team.
Go hard.
He was talked about till the very last minute. Selector talked about him, why he's not made it. How does he go and play tomorrow?
Well, he can only do one thing, go and get some runs. You know, you can sulk, you can tweet, do whatever you want, but the only way to answer any kind of disappointment in cricket or in sport is just go and prove people wrong. Go and get 100, you know, and get another one in the next game and another one in the game after that, because we're still, 6 weeks away from the World Cup?
Yeah.
And one thing that he doesn't want to do is completely rule himself out if there was an injury.
It could be an injury.
Correct. And a professional player, yes, you have those moments where you go back to your room and you hate the selectors, you hate the captain, but then you have to look yourself in the mirror and go, right, where am I at? How do I get back in the team? And the only way as a batsman to get back into the team is score runs.
That's true of every athlete. An athlete can only speak the language of his performance.
Correct.
The athlete cannot speak the language of words and commas and semicolons and adjectives. Athletes only speak the language of performance.